Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. Y'all, we are going to make the simple absolutely gorgeous. Stay tuned. Welcome everyone. I am so glad that you are here. Today we're going to do something so simple, but it's going to be so fabulous. And you know what? It's one of those things that we always find ourselves needing, but long gone are the days of hopping in the car, running to the store, looking for that perfect item, only to find that the selection is just so limited. Well, you don't need to leave your house because you can just head on over to wherever it is you craft and make it, because we've been making these for a long time. We've been making them for any season, any reason, any gender, and in all sizes. So what we'll be making today will be dressing and styling for him, but it's all occasion. Here's what I'm talking about. Isn't this gorgeous? I have a couple of projects coming up, a couple of good last minute ideas for Father's Day or gifts for him, and you're going to need a bag to put some of those things in. So here is the perfect size bag for some of the items that we'll be making and presenting. I love how this turned out. I'll give you a closer look at it once we get ready to go over what's needed to make it. But this is what I mean by turning something simple into something absolutely gorgeous. It's not over the top. It is just simple elegance. So y'all know what time it is? It is time to get started. All right, y'all, so here's what we're going to be making. We are going to be making a very stylish gift bag for him. And when finished, it's going to measure 8 inches tall, 7 inches wide, and 2.5 inches deep. So this is a very nice size bag, and like I said, I have a few projects coming up that you can make to put in this bag, or you can make this bag for any season, any reason, any gender, and place whatever it is you want to place inside. But I think this bag just exemplifies what I mean by simple elegance. It is so stylish, so understated, but it will make a big statement when presented. So here's what we're going to need to make it. I have a cut apart that says Happy Father's Day, and it's 3x4. Then I'll be mounting that to this 3.25 by 4.25 inch piece of cardstock, and it's just a piece of scrap. Then I have some twine that I'll be using to tie that to the bag. Then we're going to be using a couple of our metal gears just as accent pieces in place of using brads. And then I have 2 strips of scrap, and they measure 1x7. I have a piece that measures 4x12, and I have 2 pieces of 12x12. I'll be using my scoreboard and Reptile Glue to put this together. And because my bag will have a handle, those of you who have crafted with me for a while, you know that I like to make my handles first so that they'll have a chance to harden and take that curve. So I have my piece that measures 4x12. We are going to score this at 1.25. Then I'll rotate it to the opposite 4-inch side and score at 1.25. And then I'll simply fold and burnish my scores. And then I'll bring in my glue, and we're just going to run some glue down the middle. Then I can fold over one side. We'll get that nice and stuck. Then I'll take my glue, and we're going to place glue on this piece. And now I'll fold this over, and we'll get this stuck. I'm going to bring in my paper towel for any seepage, and then I'm also going to take my paper towel and just press down to set that glue. And then I'll take my big old spatula, or you can run it along your desk. And I'm sure you guys remember how we used to curl our paper in school. Well, I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm not going to curl it a lot. I just want it to get a curve to it, so when I get ready to attach it to the bag, I won't have to worry about bending in creases. So I'm going to take this and set it to the side, and now we'll make the bag. So to make our bag, we're going to make 3 scores at 2.5 inches. So I will score on 3 sides at 2.5 inches. And then on that fourth side, I'm going to score at 1. And I'll do the same thing on the second one. I'm going to score at 2.5 on 3 sides. So that's 2.5, turn it, 2.5, turn it, 2.5. There are my 3 2.5-inch scores. Then I'll turn it again and I'll score at 1. So then we're going to fold and burnish all of these scores. And then when I get to that 1-inch score, I'm going to fold it backwards because I want that white lip going across the top. So we'll do the same thing on this one. We're just going to fold and burnish all of our scores. Take that 1-inch lip, fold it backwards, and burnish it. All right, y'all, so on one of the 12 by 12 pieces, we need to remove all 4 corner pieces. So I'm going to do that on this one. And I will simply remove all 4 corner pieces on this paper. So there's 1. I'll remove this one. There's 2. I'll go ahead and remove this one. And then we'll remove that final one. So now that we have these pieces removed, we're going to go ahead and take that 1-inch piece and we'll glue it down. All right, so now your project piece looks like this. We'll take this piece and set it to the side. Then on this piece here, we're going to go ahead to that 1-inch score at the top, and we're just going to go to the score marks and drag down. So now we can take this piece, and we're only going to place glue on this section here. So I'll place my glue, and we'll get this stuck. So when we come to the bottom where we have these 2 squares, we took those squares out completely from the other bag. We're not going to do that. This time we're simply going to cut across in that direction on both sides. So I'll take my finger blade, I'm going to cut across, and then I'll angle. And I'll do the same thing over here. So I'm going to cut straight across, and then I'll angle. Now we are ready to put our bag together. And the way that we're going to do it, we'll take that piece that we removed the corner pieces on, and we're going to glue it to this piece. So I am going to take my glue. You can use tape if you like, but I'll take my glue and I'm going to put a good amount of glue on this base. Then when I take this, I'm simply going to place it down and slide it into position. Now I can take my big old spatula and get that nice and stuck. I'll flip it over and I'll do the same thing on the back. We are ready to put this bag together, and the way that we do it now is we take our glue. We are going to place glue on these sections here. And then we're going to bring up the section that has that top tab, and we'll glue that to that smaller tab that we just added glue to. So just bring it up, join the two, and then I'll use my big old spatula to go in and get it stuck. And you'll be able to see it over here. So I'm bringing in the piece that has that fold. I'll match it to this tab here, making sure that everything is nice and flush and even at the bottom. Then I can turn it over and I'll go on the inside with my big old spatula and get that nice and stuck. So now all we need to do is take this piece and fold it over and glue it side to side. So I'll take my glue and I'm going to place my glue on this piece. And I want to make sure that I have plenty of glue at the bottom and at the top. Now I'll take this piece and I'll line it up with the top, so I don't want anything hanging over that's going to interfere with me being able to fold that piece over. So I'm going to go ahead, smooth this, then I'll take my fingers and go on the inside just to make sure that glue is stuck. Then I'm going to check the bottom to see if I have any overhang, and you can see that I do. So I'm just going to take my scissors, go along that bottom, and clean that up. That's how easy it is to clean up any overhang, because when you're putting your sides together, you want to make sure that you have your tops matched so that you can do a good fold over. And the reason why you might have some hanging over the bottom, just as I did there, is because we are human. So when we're cutting out our tabs, we don't always cut exact on each side. So you might have a little overhang, and that's okay because that's easily fixed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that glue, place it on this little tab here. We'll fold this over. I'll go on the inside, getting it nice and stuck. And so now we have that white going all the way around on that side. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to take our glue, place our glue on this flap, and then we're going to place it, and then we'll fold it over so that it matches up with the score mark at the top, and then we can smooth it out. I can go on the inside with my big old spatula or my hand if I want. Then I'll check along the bottom here to see if I have any overhang, and I don't. So that's what I mean about being human. Sometimes we don't always cut exact on both sides. And as long as I've been doing this, I too run into the occasional overhang at the bottom, and I just fix it by trimming it off. So I am just going to get that side piece stuck. And now we have our awesome bag. So I have raised my camera just a little bit so that we can have this whole bag into frame. And now we're going to take that handle, which has hardened into a curve very nicely. And I am going to just take my handle, add some glue to the bottom, and then you decide wherever it is you want to place this handle. So I'm going to place mine in right there, and just like that, but I'm also going to just slide it up and down just a little bit. And then I'll take some glue and I'll put it right here. And then I can take this piece and just loop it over to the other side. And now I can take my big old spatula and make sure that I have a good fit on both sides. And you can see how cute that little handle is on this bag. I think it just adds something to it. It's not your normal looking handle, and it just gives it a little more interest. So now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to take the two pieces that measure 1 by 7, and I am going to place them inside the bag just like this. Now this will serve two purposes. It finishes off the inside very nicely, but it sandwiches that handle in between two layers of glue, which means that handle is not going anywhere. So I'm going to take my glue and place my glue on this 1 by 7 inch piece. Then I'm going to take it, put it inside my bag, and I'll let you guys see this in just a minute, but I'm going to take my big old spatula and make sure that I have that 1x7" piece down. So I'll hold it like this, and hopefully you can see how that 1x7" piece runs across, and it finished that off, but it also sandwiched that handle. We're going to take that second 1x7" piece and do the same thing. One thing I forgot to mention when I was doing the first one was that in the middle, I was very heavy on the glue because I wanted to make sure I had a very good glue sandwich that I was putting together. So now I'll take this piece and we'll put it inside and do the same thing that we did on the other side. So I'm going to take my big old spatula, go inside, and make sure that I work that glue into the paper. And now we have another gorgeous side to our bag. Don't you guys just love how this looks without anything on it? Simple elegance. So let's take our gears, and you don't have to use these, but I like how they look. And I'm going to put them on as if they were brads. So I'm just going to take this piece and place it right there. It's just a decorative element, that's all. I'll flip that over. Take my second gear, add my glue, place that right there. Deliciously gorgeous, y'all. I absolutely love it. And you can see how quickly the gears actually stick to the paper using my Reptile adhesive. So now I'm going to bring in my Happy Father's Day 3x4 cut apart, add some tape to the back, and then I took my 3x4 cut apart and I placed it down on my 3¼ by 4¼ inch white piece so that I could have that white border going around. And now I'll bring in my Crocodile Big Bite, and I'm going to punch a hole. So now I'll take that piece of twine, run it through the hole. Then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to tie myself a knot. And I'm going to trim off just a little bit of that overhang. And there we have it, y'all. We have a super simple, elegant bag for him. Change the papers, change the sentiment, change the decoration, and this becomes an any season, any reason, any gender bag. And I'm going to bring that first one in so y'all can see just how gorgeous both of these are. And it doesn't take much. We don't have to go to the store and choose what they have to offer us. If you're like me, you have paper. And you can go through your paper selection and choose the papers that you want to use on your project and choose the look that you want for your bags and your boxes or your notebooks, anything that you happen to be making. So guys, I hope that you have liked this project. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join this amazing online crafting family. You guys, as always, please be safe, be kind, happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.